Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Kamala Harris and Castro spewing hate and propaganda over and over again, doing things that aren't illegal, but absolutely immoral. This is the Democrat Party. No morals, everything to do by hook or by crook to win. It just reminds me of Muslims in the Quran. You're forced to lie. You're forced to do whatever you got to do to overtake that country that you're in. The Democrats doing everything that they can do to overtake America, attempting to stop Donald Trump from keeping America, as we expose the propaganda right here. Kamala Harris, just a heads up, Jamaica's got a higher homicide rate than America. Do you know that? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news media, exposing the propagandist Democrats, and giving you the real news every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And our good friend Wayne Dupree comes on at 8. Guys, there's some breaking stuff over the evening. Donald Trump absolutely coming out railing against the fake New York Times, all the fake media that's out there. Trump urges unity, always has, versus racism. Castro, again, as I said, not doing something illegal, but totally and completely immoral. No morals whatsoever, completely bankrupt in that department. Kamala Harris just absolutely lying. Flat out lying to the entire country. You've ruined your state of California, but now you're lying to the country, and we know your history is of lying. Yeah, that's how you kind of got started in politics. One lie after another, ruining lives. Kind of reminds me of Andrew Weissman. Kind of reminds me of Mueller. Kind of reminds me of the angry Democrats that want nothing but to destroy people's lives. Guys, Donald Trump is working feverishly to keep America, to make America the America it was founded to be, to undo all this globalist agenda, the Iran deal, working with the powers that be, the Muslim Brotherhood, just stopping all of that evil stuff, undoing and erasing Obama's legacy, thank God. Deregulation, economy just booming. And what do we have? We have the Democrats attempting to paint Donald Trump as a racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, and it's not working. Guys, we've got social media right here exposing the Democrats every single day. We've got Chicago on display. The Democrats don't want to talk about the mass shootings in Chicago. And Democrats, Islam, communism, socialism, all one word, slavery. To enslave the people and to keep them as heads of state, like kings and queens, dictators and pontiffs. This is the first time that any country has ever been established, 1776, where the government is to serve the people. The globalist agenda, the world powers that be, attempting to overthrow our sovereign nation through the political system, not with the shots fired. They know that a World War III would not end well. Too many nuclear weapons, there's too much. It's just too bad. It's not going to end well. So why not just overthrow that country through the electoral process? And as we have freedom of speech in America, it seems to be that our undoing could be that we didn't have a fail-safe or an e-brake. We did it one time to where Islam could not be elected to office, but then you had Joe Biden, John McCain, and Mitch McConnell and the Democrats back in the late 90s removing that law, allowing Islam to be elected to office, because that is the agenda to undo the greatness of America. And as we wake up in the morning, we love to go to Donald Trump's Twitter feed to see what our great president is saying and is talking about. This at real Donald Trump. Trump urges unity versus racism was the correct description in the first headline by the failing New York Times, but it was quickly changed to assailing hate but not guns after the radical left Democrats went absolutely crazy. Fake news. That's what we're up against. This is an astonishing development in journalism. I've never seen it had ever happened before. I've just never seen anything like this. Is this journalism today? I don't think so. This by Mark Penn, former Clinton advisor at TuckerCarlson. After 3 years, I almost got a good headline from the Times. Clinton advisor lamenting that the New York Times is fake news. Guys, Clinton advisor lamenting that fake news, New York Times. This is what we're up against, the propaganda machine. They are absolutely desperate, just desperate to get rid of this president because of what he's doing. Power back to the people. Again, guys, this country was founded, the government to serve the people. And the greatest thing that Donald Trump ever gave to the world, a defeat to Hillary Clinton. Remind yourself that every single day, Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. If she would have been elected president of the United States of America, this country would fall into the hands of the globalists. That's not conjecture. That's not fear mongering. That's not anything other than plain, solid fact. We know the weaponization of the FBI, the CIA, the government under Barack Hussein Obama. We got more news that's about ready to break, about ready to come out with Attorney General Barr and Durham just relentlessly digging deep and finding out the facts and exposing all these demon rats in the government. These deep staters, these long-termers that just have worked their way through the administration like Bruce Orr, achieved one of the highest positions, unelected positions in the federal government, working with his wife, who just happened to be over Fusion GPS, feeding him the propaganda that he needs. This is what's being exposed, guys. And our Donald Trump is fighting tooth and nail to expose the Democrats, expose this evil, and get to the bottom of everything. And as we know, Donald Trump, in 73 years of life, has never been racist, ever. No fact whatsoever that you can point to. No video, no audio, no witnesses, nothing that this president was ever a racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. Let's just take it for his word. This at Coca_Bean10. 1, Trump always denounced hate. 2, DNC media spread hate. Conservatives hit lists. 3, 20-plus mass shootings under Barack Obama. No blame. El Paso shooting triggered by DNC debates and open borders. Free SHI stuff today. And 5, Ohio shooting was Antifa.
We are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms. The anti-Semitic threats targeting our Jewish community and community centers are horrible and are painful and a very sad reminder of the work that still must be done to root out hate and prejudice and evil. About the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America. Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. Those who spread violence in the name of bigotry strike at the very core of America. Love for America requires love for all of its people. When we open our hearts to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice, no place for bigotry, and no tolerance for hate. We have it in our power, should we so choose, to lift millions from poverty, to help our citizens realize their dreams, and to ensure that new generations of children are raised free from violence, hatred, and fear. We want our country to be a place where every child from every background can grow up free from fear, innocent of hatred, and surrounded by love opportunity, and hope. There must be no tolerance for anti-Semitism in America or for any form of religious or racial hatred or prejudice. We must never ignore the vile poison of anti-Semitism or those who spread its venomous creed. With one voice, we must confront this hatred anywhere and everywhere it occurs. We forcefully condemn the evil of anti-Semitism and hate, which must be defeated. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
So you see right there, Donald Trump's own words are denouncing all of this hate, racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. And now we know for a fact, the shooter, his manifesto, whether you believe that he wrote it or didn't write it, whether you believe he posted the manifesto or didn't post it. We've got more information that the 8chan has come out in a video and said that they're not sure that he wrote it or not, but they know that he didn't post it. So who did post it? There's all kinds of theories going around, but we'll find out soon. As soon as we do, he's alive and being deposed by the police department, so we'll figure this out one way or another. But he was Antifa and triggered by open borders. He said it in his own manifesto. And then again, the one in Ohio, up here in Dayton, Ohio, was Antifa, triggered by the Democrat Party. People saying that there's hate on both sides. No, I am so sorry. There is not hate on both sides. There's hate on one side. That's the left. You guys are triggering your base, lying to them, gaslighting them. Had somebody on Facebook come to my cousin saying, oh, the manifesto talked about Trump and this and that and everything. Read all. It's 4 short pages, like 3.5 pages. Read it. Not a damn thing about Trump. And it's lamenting about hating about open borders, being a leftist, all of this crazy nonsense. DNC, man, all of this is in your lap. As we go to Dayton, our good friend at Jelly_cat, Dayton, Whaley, she said, I heard POTUS is coming to town, but hadn't got the call. And, you know, he might be going to Toledo. I don't know. Does she think because someone made a mistake, she has the right to laugh? Senator Warren's supporter, Dayton killer, gross.
He didn't tell. He said sometime this week. I mean, I've heard that he's coming Wednesday, but I've not gotten a call. And, you know, he might be going to Toledo. I don't know.
What a sick Democrat. You see that little smirk on her face? Maybe he might be going to Toledo. I don't know. How sick must you be to joke about that or just smirk about that? You realize that that people are dead because of this. You guys don't give a damn. Democrats don't care how many people they have to kill in order to regain power. And you might be like, Brian, that's pretty harsh, Brian. That's pretty hardcore. Not that, but your show yesterday was hardcore too. Relating Democrats to Mao, relating the Democrats to Stalin and Lenin and Hitler. And Brian, you get awful rough on these Democrats. Well, it is who they are, guys. Go all the way back to World War I, 100 years ago. Woodrow Wilson, our first communist president. Go back to Great Britain, who started World War I, saying that in their manifestos and their documents that have been unearthed and found, that they worked for decades to find the right France Duke Ferdinand moment. They worked for decades doing things like we're seeing right now in Dayton, doing things that we're seeing right now in Texas. Now, I'm not saying that Democrats are actually orchestrating and coordinating these things. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that the Democrat Party is gaslighting their people, enraging them. And we're seeing hate and anger on the streets from the Democrats. I've never seen this much violence coming out of the Democrat Party as we see today. Bike locks up against the side of the head, wrenches to the back of the neck, bloody, beaten Trump supporters. There's your hate. And not only that, but this manifesto written by somebody is true leftist. That's who these people are. And again, they once all the way going back, Great Britain found their France Duke Ferdinand moment, staged by Britain. Who knows? However, we do know the Muslims approached his carriage and attempted to bomb and kill him. That failed and killed the people behind him. He circled around, wanted to go to the hospital to visit those who have been injured and pay his respects. And as the carriage driver took him around one street, realized we're going the wrong way. And as they stopped to figure out where they were getting ready to go, lo and behold, the Muslim that failed to kill the Duke just a few minutes ago was standing right on the street, walked right up to the Duke, shot him in the head, shot his wife in the head. World War I begins. Don't tell me that these Democrats aren't after some kind of situation to overthrow Donald Trump. Now, they're not trying to create a World War III. That's just not feasible. Too many weapons, too many nuclear bombs. That's just not happening. So what they're doing is they're attempting to overthrow our country through the electoral process. We had laws on the books that stopped Islam from being elected to Congress. But in the late 90s, Bill Clinton, Al Gore, Mitch McConnell, I'm sorry, guys, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, and Joe Biden, a whole bunch of others getting together, removed that law to allow Muslims in office. This is the overtaking, the overthrow of our country. We saw it during this past election cycle in 2016. Hillary Clinton lying, cheating, stealing, Barack Obama weaponizing the FBI, the CIA, the federal government. And now we've got new evidence coming down the pike showing how awful our federal government has become, and that they actually worked with Hillary Clinton to bleach bit her hard drive and hammer that stuff home. Yes, that's the news coming out, that the FBI actually worked to help Hillary Clinton. We know for a fact that James Comey worked with Clinton's, both her lawyers, worked with both of them for months attempting to obtain their laptops. Finally given immunity, they turned over their laptops. Nothing there, been bleach bitted already. Yeah, we know the corruption and how deep it is, and this is what we're trying to expose. This at Black Widow 1928, El Paso shooter tells officials it was Democrat debate on free health care to illegals, not Trump. That triggered his mass shooting. Lying leftist jackals blaming Trump without evidence to control the media narrative are disgusting and shameful. Something else is disgusting and shameful is Castro, who is trending on social media today because of the bankrupt morals that this fool has, because of the hate and the anger and disdain that he has for most of America. Folks, you got to remember, 65 million people voted for Donald Trump. That's more than half. And I'm telling you, you coming out hating half of America is not a way to win. It doesn't end well. Castro went on MSNBC to spout hate and anger, and this is what he said.
Was the deadliest attack on the Latino community in United States history. And the president today in his press conference, I think, as all Americans, after an event like this, we're glad that the president would address it and at least speak about the opportunity to work on gun control legislation with the Congress. But the president blamed the media, the internet, video games. He did not look in the mirror and blame himself. If you look at that terrorist manifesto, the shooter's manifesto, a lot of the language that the shooter used is eerily similar to language that the president has used to dehumanize and demonize Hispanic immigrants to this country. And that violence spilled over and affected not just immigrants, but Hispanic Americans. The
lie and propaganda right there. Castro should be impeached. I support impeachment of Castro. First off, the manifesto was written by none other than leftists. Look at the language. It is a leftist language agenda. Just because somebody says, I dislike illegal aliens coming from the border, what does that got to do with Donald Trump? It's got nothing. Not only that, but now you're saying that the rest of us Americans that agree with Donald Trump are now eerily similar to this shooter. Castro, what you're talking about is absolutely irresponsible. To be able to speak like this on MSNBC, this propaganda, this lying hatred for this administration, for America First agenda, is just oozing out of your pores. Because, Castro, you guys are absolutely losing. You're losing the narrative. You're losing the battle. You're losing the fight. Nobody's believing you anymore. CNN ratings plummeted. MSNBC ratings plummeted. Rachel Madcow plummeting. Everything just failing. Every decision you guys make is failing. So this is how you have to come at our president of the United States, greatest president we ever had. Come at him, and then also as you tag him to the shooter, you are tagging the rest of America who agrees with the president. Build the damn wall. And this at X, Armand Klein X, Texas Dem Castro, J, 20th District, tweeted out the names of 44 San Antonio residents who have donated to Donald Trump's presidential campaign. That is criminal. Castro is untrusted sick worm when he... And this our good friend at Coca_Bean10. You've taken a phone book, public information, and highlighted the names for your brown shirts to target and harass. What's next? A patch to identify peeps as conservatives? Careful, Castro for Congress. Your Nazi is showing. Yes, absolutely. Castro has doxed 44 San Antonians that have donated to Donald Trump. Business owners, wealthy people, well-to-do, not so well-to-do. But the fact that he put this information out, it is public information, but the fact that you put this out there, you're painting targets on conservatives because of your crazed fringe base that we just now saw in Texas, in Dayton, Ohio. We saw your base slaughtering people. That's what they do. Now, you can't run from this. And to incite this kind of violence is very, very eerily similar to the newspaper magnate back in the day. Newspaper magnate William Randolph Hearst calling for the assassination of William McKinley. And lo and behold, it happened. We've now got Democrats right now. Thank God for the Secret Service doing their hard work. We got Democrats out right now calling for the assassination of Donald Trump. This is where we've come today, guys. This has gone too far. It's got to stop. All this hate and this anger has got to stop on the Democrat side. That's why we've got to win this election. We've got to win it so big in a landslide that it's a resounding no across the country against this Democrat Party. And this at S. Crowder, Stephen Crowder, calling out the Democrats. I can't remember, was it you in the KKK hood or the blackface? This comment, this tweet, out to Ralph Northam, governor of Virginia. It's no coincidence that memorials like the Jefferson Davis Arch were erected during the era of civil rights and massive resistance. They're part of a revolutionist version of history that is inaccurate and wrong. Today's action helps us to tell the truth. No, it's an absolute fact that you are attempting to rewrite history, Ralph Northam. You were either in blackface or the hood in your yearbook. Facts don't lie, Governor. And we've got Democrats that, we know it. We've known this for decades. Democrats to be the party of absolute racism. As we see the Democrats lying about racism, as we see the Democrats lying about everything, we now have Kamala Harris out lying about guns, gun violence, and needing more gun control. This at LM Christie 1. You can be the president of California, SH Hole. You can have contributed to the ruins of California, #welfare state. It's horrific to watch the harm you and your comrades continue to perpetrate against the people. Sickening. Wake up, California. Free isn't free. Democrats, frauds. This to Kamala Harris's tweet. Mass shootings don't happen at this frequency anywhere else on the planet. They happen in America because our so-called leaders lack the courage to act. I've had enough. As president, if Congress fails to act, I will take executive action to keep our communities safe. Nowhere in the world? Guys, I spent a few hours digging into the intranets, and I found some amazing information. Things that you might not normally see. And if you live in the state of California, you've been propagandized, you've been lied to, and you need to get out of the state. At least go get out of the city if you're in LA or San Francisco. Go out and visit somewhere else and get some perspective on life. Do some research on the internet, and you'll find out. She just tweeted out, nowhere in the world does this happen. Well, Let's look around the world. Let's see where it does, if it does happen. This by National Master. The links are in the description below so you can read the full articles, get all the information. This back to 2010. So this is an old number. These are old numbers, and I'm doing old versus new, 2010 versus 2018, just to show you where things are headed, which direction things are headed. And again, by National Master, 2010, homicide rate per 100,000 inhabitants. So for every 100,000 people, they detail how many homicides. And there's various countries. Ready? El Salvador, ranked number 1. 71 per 100,000. Honduras, 67 per 100,000. Venezuela, 49. Now, this is back in 2010. It's a while ago. Trinidad, Tobago, 43. Colombia, 35. South Africa, 34. Mexico, 15. Russia, 15. Costa Rica, 11. Estonia, 7.1. Argentina, 5.5. And wouldn't you know, America, 5. Homicide rate per 100,000. El Salvador, 71. USA, 5. 2010, Brian. What about 2018? Okay, 2018. Let's go to a different source. World Atlas, 2018. Per 100,000. Honduras, taking the lead, 90. Guys, it got worse for Honduras in 8 years. They went from 67 to 90, going in the wrong direction in South America. Venezuela, well, you gotta assume that that's going up because of the whole Maduro debacle and everything completely falling apart. No drinking water, no food. Yes, and it did. Venezuela takes second place at 53.7. U.S. Virgin Islands, had no idea about this, 52. It sounds like America needs to get involved there somehow. Belize, 44. El Salvador dropped from 71 to 41. Guatemala, 39. Jamaica. Yes, Kamala Harris, Jamaica, 39.3 homicides per 100,000. Kamala Harris, you're a liar. Lesotho, 38. Swaziland, which is in South Africa, 33. South Africa in general, 31. Colombia, 30. Bahamas, 29. Congo, 28. Go on and on and on a long list. I think there was 44 in this list. America, 4.7. America went down from 5 in 2010 to 4.7. Two different articles, 4.7 in 2018. Now, I know it's not much of a move, but hell, it's better than going the wrong way. So I'm just saying, Kamala Harris, I have completely debunked what you've been saying, and you're an absolute liar when you say that you have never, and I quote, mass shootings don't happen at this frequency anywhere else on the planet. Honduras? Guatemala? Venezuela? Anybody? Jamaica? Anybody? I'm just saying. How about Chicago? Let's check in with Chicago, guys. Let's see what's going on in Chicago. MSNBC doesn't really care about black people either. They don't care about facts. It's all about fiction. It's all the attempt to overthrow our sovereign nation. This at Dean BC1. Yes, the MSM really doesn't care about blacks shot in Chicago. 7 killed there, and they almost completely ignored them. Didn't fit their narrative, and they couldn't figure out how to blame them on Trump. Given that 3 mass murders over the weekend were all Democrat gunmen, the one in Chicago killing ignored. Didn't fit the narrative. That's right, folks. We talked about this on Monday. Murdered, homicide, mass shooting, Chicago by one guy who was black. Now, I'm not saying anything about the fact of skin color. I'm just screaming at the Democrats. Why not call this one out? You can't, because it doesn't fit your narrative, because you're lying about everything else. And I talked to you guys about Democrats inviting the violent, hate-filled Islam, inviting hate-filled socialism, communism, enraging their base with hate. We can clearly see one side is good, Donald Trump, and one side is evil, Democrat Party. It has never been more divided. And I'm telling you, inviting these things and not protecting our border, gaslighting your people to where they're killing and murdering in the streets. And this, our good friend at Scotty McGuire Scotty. This is why you verify who comes into our country. Open borders invites psychopaths, psychopathic enemy combatants, not to mention completely alien diseases. With no papers, you don't know who they are. Trump warned you. Fake news said he was racist. And to end on a great note, this article tweeted out, the article from GellerReport.com, and our good friend at Chris_A10_USA, Resolution 246, condemning BDS, restoring sanity on Capitol Hill, one step at a time. Vote was heartwarmingly lopsided, 398 to 17. This was the bill that Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib had written up, put together, that condemned Israel, was anti-Semitic. That's your elected officials. And so as it went through the House, 398 said, no, this is not going to happen. We're not doing this, to 17 of the angry Democrats on the left. Guys, we've got to stay vigilant, stay together, keep on keeping on, crush the share, crush the retweet. Again, down in the description below, you're going to find the show notes, the link for the show notes. Share that link with your friends and family, because that link will take them directly to newrightnetwork.com, where usually about 1.5 to 3 pages of notes will be there. You can follow all the great patriots and read all the great articles in the show. If you got trying to start your following up on Twitter, it's a great way to start. As you follow these individuals and stay in contact with them, more people will then follow you as you follow them back. Again, guys, I'm telling you, fighting a good fight every single day. God bless Donald Trump. God bless America. Keep on keeping on. For Wednesday Wisdom, it's a tough one today. See you tomorrow.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.